Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Political Ray. We've got some stories for you. Old Mahmoud is still in the news, and we'll get into that a little bit. And we've got some astronauts that got rescued by Elon Musk, and there's thanks going around on X about this. Um, there's been doxing of people who own Teslas, and these people are psychotic. And there has been a couple of arrests from a guy that was keying a Tesla. Um, there's burning down of Tesla dealerships. There's shots fired, and there was arrests made at one of the dealerships during one of the riots, and stuff needs to stop. I mean, it's getting out of hand. Um, these people are evil, and they shouldn't be allowed to do this. Anyway, we got the we got the JFK files that got dropped. Now, just in the forefront of this story, I am still going through these. There was over 80,000 pages that were dropped, and there's a lot of speculation about a lot of it was, the same information that was dropped during the Biden administration. But that being said, I haven't gone through it all. I've gone through maybe a quarter of it last night when I got home from work. I haven't had a chance to go through all of it. There's a lot. There was a couple things that I wanted to show just on the onset of it, just because I mean some of it is a little nuts, but I haven't seen anything that's like a oh my gosh, or oh who would have thought that, or anything. Like, I haven't seen anything. But as I said, I haven't gone through a whole lot of it. Still working my way through it, but I'm just a one man operation here. I recommend that everybody go and that you if you watch me, go and watch Crowder today. Go and watch Tim Pool. Go and watch Jeremy at the quartering. On Rumble, um, the lineup on Rumble is kicking butt and taking names. Um, Crowder had their number one stream. Tim Pool had the number one stream in their time slots. Um, it's getting good. Everybody needs to go to Rumble. That's where it's at. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get into this here. First, I just want to talk really. Mahmoud Khalil is still making headlines. Um, I guess there's been another news thing that there's been another article that came out saying that one of the professors was a sympathizer as well. Uh, but I'm not going to get in. I'm just going to talk about Mahmoud. So anyway, we'll get into that. Let's see what we got here. Let me shrink this down and get myself over. So now we've got Columbia University student says his detention is indicative of anti-Palestinian racism in U.S. It's not the case. This headline is just completely is from the AP. Go figure. It's completely misleading and does not reflect any sort of way as to why this guy is being detained. The guy is being detained because he led an anti-America riot on Columbia University grounds. That's why he's being detained. He's here. His student visa has been revoked. He's not even a student anymore. And in this article, they're going to try and paint the frame that he's a student when he's not. He's not even a student anymore. He has graduated. He's no longer a student. He can go home. Send him back to where he came from. He loves it there so much and he hates America. Send him back. I've covered this already, but it's still in the news. So we're going to just go over this little article from the AP because it's ridiculous, but we'll get into it anyway. Let's see. New York, AP, a Columbia University student arrested and threatened with deportation for his role in campus protests against the Israel, gave his first public statement Tuesday saying that his detention is indicative of anti-Palestinian racism. It's not the case. Not the case. The guy is trying to frame it to where he's being detained under the false pretenses. It's not the case. He's being detained because his visa was revoked by Mark Rubio, which he has the right to do. It does not matter anyway if the Secretary of State, gosh, I can't think trying to think about all this stuff, but it's anyway. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has the right. He does not have to have a reason. He can just feel the need to revoke his visa. It doesn't matter. But the fact remains is that he led an anti-American protest that turned into a riot on Columbia University grounds, taking over the library. I forget the hall's name. I'm sure it says in here somewhere, but He's not being detained because of anti-Palestinian racism. That is a false statement. He knows it's false. He knows the reason why he's being detained. And the guy needs to be deported. Everybody thinks so. Well, unless you're a far leftist who is okay with rioting and people getting hurt and cars being set on fire and everything else. Unless you're one of those people, and in that case, you just got other mental issues. But anyway, I digress. In a letter dictated from a Louisiana immigration lockup, and released by his attorney, the student, not a student, again, he's not a student. He has graduated. He's no longer a student, but people paint him out to be a student all the time. He's not a student anymore. Anyway, Mahmoud Khalil said he is being targeted as part of a larger effort to repress Palestinian voices. Not the case. I don't agree with it. I'll say this again. I don't agree with it. But as a visa holder, he does have the First Amendment right to protest and peacefully assemble and protest. He does not have the right to lead a violent mob forcing their way into the library and causing damage and vandalism and everything else, handing out flyers saying death to America. He does not have that right. Neither does anybody else. An American citizen does not have that right. Once the protest turns violent and you force your way into a library and damage the library, shattering windows, everything else, causing vandalism, at that point, it's not a protest, and your First Amendment doesn't hold water. It becomes a riot, and you're going to suffer the consequences. And you should. Whether it be a Democrat, Republican, I don't care. If you're protesting and it turns into a riot, you need to be held accountable. Anyway, let's see. My unjust detention is indicative of the anti-Palestinian racism that both the Biden and Trump administrations have demonstrated over the past 16 months, as the U.S. has continued to supply Israel with weapons to kill Palestinians and prevented international intervention, he said. For decades, anti-Palestinian racism has driven efforts to expand U.S. laws and practices that are used to violently repress Palestinians, Arab Americans, and other communities. That is precisely why I'm being targeted. No, it's not. I'll say it one more time. You are being targeted because you led a violent mob, forced your way into the library, causing vandalism and destruction in your wake. That is why you are being detained. And that is why you should be sent back to your country. If you love it so much and you hate America, then go back to your country. Send him home. I don't care. The guy needs to be sent back. His visa is no longer valid. Send his butt back. Fast track the whatever trial, hearing, whatever you want to call it. Fast track it. Get his butt out of here. Then we don't have to deal with this guy no more. Anyway, Khalil and the federal government have been sparring in court over the Trump administration's move to ship him halfway across the country to lock him up to the lockup in Louisiana. Why? Why send him anywhere other than his origin country? Why? Make it make sense to me. The guy it's obvious. I mean, if I can see it, then so should any kind of judge. But you've got judges who are trying to reverse mid-flight flights that over international waters, saying that gangbangers and rapists and murderers and stuff need to come back to the country. We've got those kind of judges that are saying that kind of stuff too. So it doesn't surprise me that you got people who do think that this guy's innocent. It's nuts. The government says he could not be detained at an immigration facility near where he was originally arrested, in part because of the bedbug infestation. Ugh. So they sent him to Louisiana. Khalil says there was no such discussion of bedbugs, and he feared he was being immediately deported. Well, he should have been. It's just my opinion, but I think he should have been. In court papers over the weekend, lawyers for the Justice Department also blamed his move on overcrowded facilities in the Northeast. Well, that's I can see that being probably a possibility. All the arrests that have been made by ICE and Tom Homan, I can see that being a real possibility. Anyway, Khalil made the statement about bed bugs in an exhibit attached to court papers in which his lawyers asked that he be freed on bail while the courts decide whether his arrest violated the First Amendment. Excuse me. He doesn't have the First Amendment right anymore. Once that visa is revoked, he does not have that right. Now, I don't, as I said before, I don't care if you're an American citizen. I don't care if you're a visa holder. Once you cross that threshold from peacefully protesting into a violent, forceful mob and conduct acts of assault, vandalism, and what have you, the gloves are off. Don't care who you are. Don't care if you're a citizen. Don't care if you're a visa holder. The gloves are off. If you're a visa holder, automatic revocation of that visa and get sent home. That's it. Done. You know, I don't see the point in dragging it out. Anyway, you drag it out and you just get the stories coming back up and up and up and up again. And I mean, it just regurgitates itself over and over again within the news. Deport him and be done with it. That's what me thinks. Anyway, the lawyers have also asked the judge to widen the effect of any order to stop U.S. government from arresting, detaining, and removing non-citizens who engage in constitutionally protected expressive activity in the United States in support of Palestine rights or critical of Israel. Again, they frame this just for him to be the victim. They frame it to be him being the victim. Oh, he was just out there peacefully protesting. He wasn't doing it. No, he led a violent mob and forced their way into the library, causing destruction. There was assault on security officers. That's it. It was breaking the law. But they frame this that he's the innocent party and he's being detained illegally, and it's not the case. Anyway, Khalil said in court records that he was put in a van when he was taken away from the Elizabeth facility, and he asked if he was being returned to the FBI headquarters in Manhattan, where he was taken immediately after his arrest. I was told no. We are going to JFK Airport. I was afraid they were trying to deport me, he recalled. They should have. Anyway, of this time spent at the Elizabeth facility, he wrote, I was in a waiting room with about 10 other people. We slept on the ground. Even though it was cold inside the room, there were no beds, mattresses, or blankets. Khalil, in the letter released by his attorney on Tuesday, said, I see in my circumstances similarities to Israel's use of administrative detention, imprisonment without trial or charge. So strip Palestinians of their rights. Look, again, I'll say it one more time. The guy led a violent mob, had flyers saying death to America. He does not love America. And if you defend this guy, you're not a good person. That's all there is to it. The guy wants to see the downfall of America. And anybody who comes out on his side in this is you're just wrong. Just do a little bit of research. It takes 5 minutes to see that this was not just a peaceful protest, and it was a violent mob who forced their way into the library, assaulting and causing vandalism, what have you. I know I keep saying it, but the article keeps painting this guy to be an innocent victim, and he's not. It's frustrating. Anyway, let's see. In the weekend, court papers, lawyers for the Justice Department gave the detailed description of Khalil March 8th arrest and his transportation from Manhattan to Elizabeth and then to Kennedy International Airport in New York the next day for his transfer to Louisiana, where he has been held since. And again, I issued a reprieve, a retraction, what have you, because I did make a video. I thought the guy had already been deported, which he should have been, but he wasn't. He was still being detained by ICE. And I'm going to get things wrong. I mean, nobody's perfect. But if I get something wrong, I'll say it. And I was wrong about that. I thought he had been deported, and he hadn't been. He was still in detention. Anyway, Khalil could not be housed in Elizabeth Detention Facility long-term due to a bedbug issue. So he remained there until his flight to Louisiana, the lawyers wrote. They said he was at the facility from 2:20 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. on March 9th. The lawyers, oh, hold on. Let me get rid of that. The lawyers have asked the legal issues to be addressed by federal judges in New Jersey or Louisiana rather than a New York Manhattan federal judge has not yet ruled on the request. Khalil's, look, this shouldn't be taking this long. It shouldn't. The guy has already had his visa revoked. Send him back. It's plain and simple. Do I worry about him maybe getting back into the country? Sure. But the way that President Trump is shoring up the borders, I don't see that being as big of an issue as when we had just the open everybody come in borders under President Biden. So I say send him back. His visa already been revoked. You've got the evidence clearly saying that he was. I mean, these leftist media outlets are not going to paint it that way. They're going to paint him to be the victim. But everybody knows that that's not the case. They have the evidence against him. They should send him packing. Anyway, Khalil's lawyers, who opposed transferring the case, wrote in a submission Monday that the transfer to Louisiana was predetermined and carried out for improper motives rather than because of a bedbug infestation. I don't care. I don't care about why that he was moved. I don't care why. Anyway, despite the bedbug claim, the Elizabeth detention accepted at least 4 individuals for detention from March 6th through the last Thursday, and Khalil himself saw men being processed for detention while he was there. They wrote, whatever. Khalil, in the letter released by his attorney on Tuesday, also referenced a wave as Israel strikes across Gaza, ending the ceasefire on Monday night, and called it a moral imperative to continue push for freedom for Palestinians. Look, I don't see this being I don't see this being a 2-state solution. I don't. I see it being a 1-state solution. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could be. I don't see them. I don't see it. I don't see it ending well. Anyway, uh, I think this guy needs to go back home. If he wants to go home and he's so pro, send him back. Let him go home. Anyway, with January's ceasefire now broken, parents in Gaza are once again cradling to small shrouds, and families are forced to weigh starvation and displacement against bombs, he said. It is our moral imperative to persist in the struggle for their complete freedom. Okay, then go home and do it. Why are you here protesting? Go home, and if you want, go home and do your thing. Why are you here protesting? If you're that been out of shape about it, then go home and do something about it. I'm tired of this guy. He needs to go home. Anyway. So onto a little bit of a lighter subject. The astronauts have come back to Earth. Elon Musk sent up one of his ships and was able to retrieve these astronauts who were supposed to, I think it was 9 days that they were supposed to be up in space, ended up being 10 months that they were up there. This is wild. I mean, and Elon Musk has said that, he offered to the Biden administration to go up there and retrieve these astronauts. And Biden turned it down. Now, was Biden in his right mind when he was offered that deal by Elon Musk? We don't know. Maybe he was having an off day. Maybe he was half asleep. We don't know. But Elon said that the offer was refused by the Biden admin. So there's that. But here, we'll take a look at this little clip. This is nice to see. In my opinion, I think it is. If you don't enjoy seeing this kind of thing, then you've got other issues. But this is the astronauts. They got, like I said, Elon got them brought. They touched down in the Gulf of Mexico yesterday, in the afternoon sometime. I forget the exact time, but they touched down in the Gulf of America. I think I said Gulf of Mexico, but I digress. They touched down in the Gulf of America, and take a look. It's pretty cool.
And we're going to stand by for splashdown, located in the Gulf of America, off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
That's cool.
And SpaceX Freedom, splashdown. Good main release.
That's right.
Copy splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
That's cool. I don't care who you are. If that doesn't just warm your heart, you got other problems. But anyway, I think it's cool. I mean, like I said, Elon offered this, to go get these astronauts months ago when Biden was still in office, and Biden turned them down. And Elon was on with Hannity on Fox News, and just explaining that, that was the case. We'll take a look at this clip too. So let's see. Bring it over here.
I just want to clarify on the issue of whether or not you had offered to send this rocket to space to rescue these astronauts sooner to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I heard somebody earlier today say, in fact, that didn't happen when I believe it did.
No, we definitely offered to return the astronauts earlier. There's no question about that. The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months. So obviously that doesn't make any sense. SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back after a few months at most, and we made that offer to the Biden administration. It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. I just want to.
So like I said, so it was rejected. Elon said it was rejected due to political reasons. I'd like to know the exact reasons why President Biden said, no, we don't want to bring these people back home. They can stay up there in space for 10 months. It's fine. They're fine. Why? If Biden really wanted to win, especially Kamala too. I mean, think about it. Seriously. Why would you not take that offer? Just because they don't like Elon? Because you don't like Elon, you don't like the fact that he was backing Trump. What's the make it make sense to me? You would think, even if they don't, think of it this way. Okay. You've got somebody you disagree with. You're not a fan of him. He's friends with one of your enemies. Enemies, I say. Democrats, Republicans, whatever. He comes to you. He says, look, I can help you out with this. And wouldn't you want to take the deal just because, look, think of it this way. If you take that deal and you can say, and then you can come out and you can say, look, to your constituents, look, I've taken this deal. Yes, Elon is an enemy, but I've taken this deal, and it just shows that we can actually come together as Americans, not a Republican, not a Democratic Party. It shows that we can come together when the chips are down and we need to get stuff done. It shows that we can come together with unity and we can make sure that things get done. That's a positive for your party. Why? Because I honestly think that Kamala is not that smart. I'm not a bright guy either, but even I can see that, look, this would be a positive look for the party. We've come together with the opposition, and we can actually work together to strive to better the country. We've got this crisis where these astronauts are stranded in space. Why not prove to the American people that you can come together in unity to get things done? Prove to the American people that you can come together and get things done. It's a positive look for the Democrats. Why wouldn't you take it? It boggles my mind. Anyway, I'd have taken it. If a Democrat came to me, some high level, CEO, whatever the case may be, on the left, they came to me and said, look, you've got this problem. I can help you with this. I'd take it. Why not? Show the country that you can come together in unity. Get the job done. It's a positive look for your party. Why not take the deal? It doesn't make sense. You turn it down and say, oh, Elon came to me. I turned him down because he's backing Trump. That doesn't make any sense. Not to me anyway, but hey, I'm just a guy who complains to a camera on the internet. So anyway, we've got doxing going on. There's a website that was put up that actually shows people's addresses owning Teslas, encouraging people to go and commit vandalism and damage of property and what have you. Look, there's already been arrests. The Tesla dealership, that there was several arrests that took place. There was that one big story where an 18-year-old girl was arrested and was being charged with these crimes, and her parents came out wanting to know what they could do, what kind of lawyer they need to get, yada yada yada. She's 18 years old. Sorry. Actions have consequences. She's an adult. She's gonna have to deal with that for the rest of her life. Anyway, These people are just crazy. Look at this. So we've got this is from the Post Millennial. Doxing website features Molotov cocktail cursor, exposes personal info of Tesla owners. Report. This is wild. People are actually they're posting addresses of Tesla owners. This is dangerous. This is sick. This is wrong. I don't care what side of the political aisle you line up on. If I'm not a fan of the Democrats, but if somebody came out and posted, something, a doxing of someone, even if I didn't care for that person, I think this is wrong. This shouldn't be taking place. These are everyday Americans, and look, I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of these Tesla owners are part of the Democratic Party. There's a lot of Democrats that own Teslas because it was the Democrats that were pushing EVs. They were the ones pushing the fact that, oh, we need to go to completely electric vehicles by 2030, 2035, whatever it was. Biden made that mandate. Trump overturned it, but Biden made the mandate that we need to completely go to electric vehicles in order to help the environment. And now, just because it's Elon that owns the company, they hate electric vehicles. It doesn't make any sense. They flip-flop and they have no core. They have no core. They have no personality of their own. They just do whatever the mainstream media tells them to do. And it's sad. This kind of stuff should not be taking place. This is evil. People who are keying cars just because it's a Tesla, it's not right. As I said before, a lot of Tesla owners are Democrats. They vote Democrat. A lot of them are Democrats because of the fact that it was the Democrats pushing the EVs. These people are stupid. Anyway, a website known as DogeQuest has reportedly exposed the personal details of Tesla owners across the United States, displaying their names, addresses, and phone numbers on an interactive map, reports the New York Post. This is sick. This is wrong. It should not be taking place. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, what have you. Nobody, everyday Americans, should not have to be putting up with this kind of crap. Just because they own an electric vehicle that was made by somebody who's the CEO of a company you don't care for, this is getting out of hand. I personally think that the FBI needs to pay attention to this. I mean, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, old Dan, pay attention to this. This is becoming a major problem. The move appears to be an attempt to target Tesla drivers because of CEO Elon Musk's connection to the Trump administration. The site also features an image of a Molotov cocktail as its cursor and includes exact locations of Tesla dealerships. According to a report from 404 Media, the website's operators have stated that they will remove Tesla owners' personal data if they provide proof that they have sold their vehicles. That's insane. That is... Oh, so you'll be okay. We'll remove your information if you can prove to us that you don't have that Tesla anymore. What? I tell you what. This is why we have a Second Amendment. Anybody comes to my house. Now, I don't own an EV. I don't. I have a couple of gas guzzling cars that because I'm not a fan of EVs. I don't think that for one, I don't want to hike up my electric bill. And for two, it costs it's more of a harm to the environment just to make that vehicle than, the emissions that you would save by driving it for like 150 years. It leaves more of a carbon footprint on the environment just to make that vehicle than it does to drive it around for 100 plus years. It doesn't make sense. I don't, and I won't ever have an electric vehicle. That's just the truth of the matter. I won't ever do it. But anyway, I digress. Let's see. The site also features an image of oh, I read that part. Never mind. News of the doxing website comes amid a rise in vandalism against Tesla drivers and dealerships. Incidents that have increased following Musk's leadership of the Trump administration Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. Come on, Ray, talk right. Anyway, the website also reportedly posts personal information about Doge employees. Through the authenticity of this data has not been verified. This another wrong. Why? This is advocating for violence. This is a thing. The FBI needs to look into this. They need to get into the website details, find out who started it, have them arrested. This is inciting violence to its core. I don't see how it couldn't be. I don't. You actively put up a website doxing people's information with a Molotov cocktail on your homepage. This is incitement of violence. And then they say, "Oh, we'll take your information off if you can prove to us that you don't have your Tesla anymore." This is insane. This has to stop. The FBI needs to get a hold of this website, get it taken down, and go after whoever created it. That's what needs to happen. This is crazy. Come on, Dan, get on this. I have total faith in Dan. I'm losing a lot of faith in Pam Bondi, but that's beside the point, and I digress again. Anyway, it remains unclear where the site obtained the information on Tesla owners. One section of the website addresses the question, is DogeQuest a protest platform? No, it's not a protest platform. It's an active call to violence platform. If you're on the hunt for a Tesla to unleash your artistic flair with a spray can, just step outside. No map needed. At DogeQuest, we believe in empowering creative expressions of protest that you can execute from the comfort of your own home, the site states. That's an active call to vandalism. Where's the FBI? Get a hold of this. This is insane. This has to stop. I mean, under a section titled, I want my information removed, the website claims, absolutely, just provide us with proof that you've sold your Tesla. What? This is insane. This has got to stop. Again, Cash, Dan, go after this website, find whoever created it. They need to be arrested. This is incitement of violence. It's incitement of vandalism. It's in its purest form. It's an open and shut case. The emergence of DogeQuest follows a series of attacks on Tesla dealerships and vehicles earlier this month. A woman in Loveland, Colorado, was arrested for allegedly throwing an incendiary device at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. In Oregon, 2 Tesla dealerships were recently targeted by gunfire. Though no injuries were reported, Cybertruck owners have also reported experiencing harassment, including verbal assaults and obscene gestures. Look, I saw a video. I've said this before. In New York, there was a guy. It was a family. A family was in the vehicle. It was a woman and I think 1 or 2 kids. Don't quote me on that. Might have just been 1. Might have been 2. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a family. And this guy in New York was actively like trying to get within the vehicle to do God knows what. And thank God she got away. She was able to just drive away and the guy couldn't pursue her. But these are just regular everyday families who happen to have a Tesla because they were sold on the, whole EV thing. And now they're being attacked just for owning an EV. An EV that the left pushed. It's insane. This has to stop. You've got people at the dealership that got shot up in Oregon. Those are employees trying to make a living for their families, and now they have to deal with active shooters coming to their work because they just simply because they work at a Tesla dealership. This has to stop. The federal government needs to come down and have the full weight of the law come down on these people. Because until that happens, it's not going to stop. This website needs to be taken down. The website creators need to be arrested. Until that happens, this crap is going to continue. I don't want to see it continue. I want people to go about their everyday lives not having to worry about, I can't drive to work today because I own a Tesla. I don't want to get attacked. I don't want some crazed fanatic left-wing lunatic coming after me just because I drive a Tesla. So I can't drive it to work. I can't go to work. This has to stop. America cannot be a country living in fear just because of mainstream media pushing an agenda and having people look. This is insane. It has to stop. Again, Cash. I know I have a very, very, very small following, but look, Cash Patel. Everybody put this out there. Everybody get this out there. Spread the word far and wide. This website, it needs to come down. The FBI needs to come down hard on the creators of the website. This is incitement of violence. This is an intent to do harm to American citizens simply for the fact of owning a Tesla vehicle. This has got to stop. Anyway, let's see. In addition to testing alleged Tesla owners' data, the site reportedly maps out Tesla dealerships. I read that part. Attempts across Doge Quest on Tuesday were unsuccessful following the publication of the 404 media report. There's no single federal law in the U.S. that explicitly criminalizes doxing, but certain federal statutes may apply, depending on the situation, the Post reported. Look, the fact of the matter, again, I'll say it one more time. I know I keep repeating myself on these things, but this is just insane. It just boggles my mind that these people can just go off. You got people actively calling for violence. That's a crime. You got people active. Look, there's a Molotov cocktail right on there. It's giving people's personal information, their addresses, phone numbers, everything else, saying, "Look, here's the location of Tesla owners. Go do your thing." That's an incitement to violence. It's an active call to violence. Don't tell me that certain things may apply. Because everybody with half a brain can tell you that this is an active call to violence, and there needs to be steps taken. Anyway, meanwhile, weekly demonstrations labeled Tesla Takedown continue across the country, frequently leading to vandalism of Tesla vehicles, charging stations, and dealership properties. There was a charging station that was set on fire. I seen a video of a guy setting fire to a car. I don't know, it was some kind of incendiary device. Ended up catching himself on fire in the process. Thankfully, I don't want to see anybody hurt. So thankfully, I in the video you can see him run off and he rolls and he was able to put himself out, at least from what I could tell. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I think that again, nobody should have to be put in this situation. Take a look at this. This is just it's insane. I mean, this is a Tesla dealership. Where was this? This is yet another terrorist set a Tesla on fire last night at the showroom. This time in Kansas City. The assailant can be seen running away wearing all black after setting the car ablaze. An example must be set, or these people will get increasingly violent. Yes, I 100% agree with that statement. Cash, Dan, Pam, something's got to be done because it's just escalating. It's getting worse. Something has to be taken. This has to be taken care of, or it's gonna continue to escalate. The whole Tesla dealership could get burned down to the ground. The left would cheer for it, but how many people would actually? I mean, you're putting lives at risk and everything else. It's got to stop. This is insane. Look at this video. Let's see. This is nuts. Here they go running away. This is what that website is calling for. It's exactly what the website's calling for. For people to actively go against the Teslas and Elon Musk and everything else. It's got to stop. This can't continue. We can't continue on this route as a country. It's just people are going to get hurt. They're active. I mean, what's going to happen when there's a family inside one of these vehicles that gets attacked? I mean, like I said, in New York, it already happened. Luckily, she was able to drive away. But what if she wasn't able to? What if her and her kids seriously got hurt or worse? It's got to stop. You can't hate somebody just because they own a vehicle. it's insanity. Anyway, take a look at this one. This guy actually got arrested, which is this is good. But this guy, he he pulled up. I saw this video. He pulls up. Look right there. He looks around for a minute, make sure nobody's noticing. And that's another thing. All these Teslas, they have cameras all over the vehicle. It doesn't matter where you're at on the vehicle; they can see you. You're gonna get caught. I hope anyway. Anyway, this is a statement. Within less than 24 hours, the viral vandalism incident being reported to the San Jose Police Department was successfully identified, located, and arrested. The individual responsible for the act of felony vandalism, this senseless crime, and its subsequent consequences should serve as a clear reminder. No matter one's personal beliefs or frustrations, they do not justify illegal actions. I urge everyone to respect one another and, above all, to respect the law. That's from the chief, Paul Joseph. I agree. If you don't agree with Elon's take on politics, if Trump, what have you, if you're a leftist crazy person who feels the need to go and do this kind of stuff, hopefully you get caught, because, like I said, it's going to escalate. It's only going to continue to get worse, and it shouldn't. It's got to stop. It's getting insane. But anyway, take a look at the look. I just want to show this real quick. Like I said, the JFK files have been dropped. Now, I have been going through these, and as I said, there's 80,000 pages of this. I haven't gone through all of it, not even a quarter probably. I've gone through quite a bit of it last night after I got home from work, but I'm just, like I said, I have a full-time job, and I do this just on the side. So, I haven't gone through it all yet, but we'll take a look at this real quick. I thought this was interesting, just to take a look at this. Let me get rid of me here, just so you can see the whole thing. Oh, wrong one. There we go. There we go. Okay, look. So, this one, I mean, this was interesting to me. Look, this was Ramparts 67, Volume 5, blah blah blah. The day after the assassination, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at the home of friends in New Jersey. He was very agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for the assassination. He confided, and he was afraid for his life, and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found shot to death in his Washington apartment. The coroner ruled it a suicide. Now that's interesting. And like I said, this is just one thing that I came across that, like I said, I thought was interesting. I wanted to just share. So we've got, like I said, that's, as far as the JFK thing goes, that's really all I've got as far as right now. Like I said, I'm still going through it, but I encourage everybody to go watch Louder with Crowder today. He's on at 11 Eastern time, and you can go and watch Tim Pool right after him. Jeremy from the Quartering is on right after him. You got the whole Rumble lineup. I'm sure that they've got teams that can go through all this. I'm sure they're going to have more information than I will on this. So I encourage everybody to go watch that on Rumble. Rumble's the place to be. I mean, they've got the #1 show in every time slot through 5 o'clock. At least through, I know, Evita in the morning, and then you got, I forget who was after her, but then you've got Steven Crowder at 11. These are Eastern time. You got Crowder at 11, Tim Pool at noon, and then you got Jeremy from the Quartering at 1. I think it's oh shoot, now I forget his name, but I mean, the lineup is taking over on Rumble. But anyway, that's all I got for this morning. I appreciate you hanging out. You can follow me on Rumble here, and you can also subscribe on YouTube. I don't know why you want to, but you can. Go to Rumble. That's where it's at. You can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. And again, appreciate you hanging out. Y'all have a good day, and God bless.